I think C.J. Stroud broke the Ohio State quarterback curse. I think Ohio State finally is going to have a successful quarterback for years to come. I think that the Houston Texans are going to get to the playoffs, potentially win a wild card round game. I think C.J. Stroud is the right deal. I said it. He should have been the first QB in the draft over Bryce Young. He looks better than Bryce, looks a little better than AR. AR looks better than Bryce Young, but I think C.J. Stroud is the real deal. D'Amico Ryans and the boys are going to build around this guy, and it's going to be a good career for C.J. Stroud. All About the Balls podcast with Mark Davis, Chris Gemeinhart, Luke Rule, and Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. Hello and welcome to All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis in the Sack House, about to talk week 4 of the NFL season with Chris Gemeinhart and Luke Rule. No Doc tonight, boys. He's just getting home from a wedding. Shout out to his brother as he's a happily married man. But Chris, I start with you. I notice you're not wearing any Saints gear. It was a rough weekend for your New Orleans Saints as they lost 26-9 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker was shaking and baking out there. The defense looked good. The question, though, is through 4 weeks, where is this Saints offense at?
It was definitely a rough football weekend in general. It was the type of football weekend where you want to hop in your truck and wrap it around a tree. So luckily I didn't do that. Fuck. I mean, there's a lot, Mark. There's a lot. I mean, if Dennis Allen doesn't,
we'll talk LSU. Yeah, we'll talk LSU in a couple days, but yeah, we understand.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis Allen came out today. He said there's going to be no coaching changes. Hey, if he doesn't make any coaching changes soon, him and Pete Carmichael are going to be on the side of the road after this year.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm a little confused where this offense has been. I thought they were going to be a little better. AK, he came back at 13 catches, not big yards, but he came back. He looked decent, I guess, but I'm just shocked with Derek Carr. I know he was hurt, but he's not looking like the Derek Carr I thought he could have looked like. But Luke, moving on to the Ravens, dude, big win. Kind of got fortunate. Deshaun Watson didn't play. We don't know what would happen. We'll find out later down the road when they're at Baltimore when Watson's back. But hey, 28-3, you beat up on that rookie that I was high on, DTR. So how you feeling heading out of?
Feel good, yeah. It's Ravens going against the number 1 defense, and we still put up big points. Lamar Jackson 4 touchdowns. So I mean, it proves like he can throw the ball, he can run the ball. He had 2 rushing, 2 passing. So Ravens offense looked good. Down still a starting offensive lineman and 2 receivers, and still able to move the ball down the field. So I liked it.
I was a little impressed with Lamar. I mean, I know the yards weren't a lot, but 2 touchdowns. He was pretty accurate with the ball, and like you said, number 1 defense. So I'm not expecting him to go out there and throw for 300 plus yards and like 5 TDs, but I thought it was a pretty good game. He looked a lot more comfortable. You know, he was still getting pressured, but his legs came in there. So I was impressed with the Ravens offense this week, and I called them out. Yeah. I said the Ravens need to show something with Todd Monken, and they did. I thought they looked pretty good this weekend. But, boys, I had to wake up at 6:15 in the morning to watch my team shit the bed across the pond. I know we're going to talk about it later, but it's time for Desmond Ridder to sit on the bench or something because I'm just not high on him. I think our defense is pretty solid. Our defense only gave up 16 points to the Jaguars. So, I mean, that's manageable for an offense, like a good offense to win games. Our running game looked good. I don't think Ritter's the guy. I get our O-line's not the best at pass protection, but good quarterbacks can beat the blitz, and he's not even acting like a good quarterback. And I'm not expecting him to be fucking Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or guys like that, but just fucking be an average QB. He's looking better than Joe Burrow this year, but just fucking be what Joe Burrow was a couple of years ago. Be that kind of Joe Burrow at least.
I think Burrow is like the last ranked quarterback in the NFL right now, so everybody looks better.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough to see that pick 6 Toy Story version, you know?
Yeah, that's right there. I mean, we were driving, you know, it would have been probably like 10, maybe 10-10 at that time. But like I said, our defense is playing good. I love our defense doing. I love the young nucleus we have. Just not a fan of Desmond Ridder at the moment. I thought he had some talent. He's at home this week, so he'll probably win that game. He's undefeated at home in college and in the NFL. But boys, speaking of a home team, the Buffalo Bills, you know, this was supposed to be the game of the week. We were hoping it was going to be a primetime game. We literally talked about it. But, damn, they just fucking manhandled the Miami Dolphins. They pretty much killed this Dolphin like the Dolphin died from Jim Irsay. You know, that Dolphin that he bought out of Miami. They killed this Dolphin. They control Tyreek Hill, controlled Jalen Waddle. Tua looked like he was fucking nervous out there. Mostert didn't have a good game. A-Chain was decent, but are the Buffalo Bills legit? Are we just forgetting? Like, should we forget about that week 1 loss? Did they shut up the naysayers, the doubters? Are the Buffalo Bills proving that the window is not closing on them yet? And there's no drama with Stephon Diggs, obviously, at 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, clearly no drama. I mean, they went in there and executed what the Patriots tried to execute. They did shut the defense down. The only difference between the Bills and the Patriots is the Bills have an offense. So they were able to capitalize on that. And I mean, it just shows like the game plan on to beating Miami in the playoffs is you just got to shut the offense down.
Yeah, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
Like I said, Tyreek Hill had 3 catches, 58 yards on 5 targets, and Jalen Waddle 4 for 46 on 5 targets. So they manhandled them. I mean, they lost White too. Like I said, we're gonna talk about him. He tore his Achilles, ruptured his Achilles, whatever. So I think they have plenty of depth. Micah Hyde had a crazy interception. So I don't care who the Bills have out there. Their defense is pretty deep, I think. And Sean McDermott is a defensive coach. So the boys are going to be playing high defense all year long.
Yeah, I mean, I said it last week that I think the Bills are going to run away with this game. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer than that, but I mean, the Miami is traveling up to the New York. It was a little chilly for them, a little 60-degree weather. The Dolphins couldn't. They're going to go fucking die out in the 60-degree weather, and they did. Fucking Josh Allen, yeah, he definitely shut up the haters this week. He fucking balled out. Like he was just lighting the Dolphins defense up. Like I don't think he had like one mistake really the entire game.
They said he had 6 throws. The last 3 weeks he's had 6 throws off. 6 throws off like target essentially. That's pretty good. I mean, and if this is the Josh Allen we're going to get, boys, the NFL better watch out because this Josh Allen not turning the ball over, looking good, making their correct throws. It's a scary game.
They pitched him off week 1. Now he's mad.
Did. Oh, they did. They came out and we saw what they did against the Commanders last week, and they beat the hottest team. I mean, at least based on the previous week. So, the Dolphins fucking won by 50 points and they lose by 28. So they didn't even score half of what they did essentially against the Denver Broncos. But yeah, I think the AFC right now, if you're looking through 4 weeks, it's the Buffalo Bills. I know the Ravens are 3-1. I mean, I know the Dolphins are 3-1 still, but they just lost, and we get the Chiefs are 3-1 too. But I think Buffalo looks like the more complete team on offense and defense. The Dolphins have question marks on defense. I mean, I'm not saying the offense is going to be shit, but there have so many question marks on defense when they play a high explosive offense.
Yeah, I mean the Bills definitely look number 1 in the AFC. Like you said, I mean the Ravens are up there as well. The Chiefs are up there, of course. But I mean the Bills are the one team that have like dominated all 3 of their wins. I mean you have that one shaky game in New York week 1, give them a write-off. Aaron Rodgers goes down. The whole vibe in that game was just off. And then
well, most teams had a pretty shaky week 1 too. So I mean that week 1 could have went any which way for any other team too. So like Ravens had a shaky week 1, but ended up pulling off the win. So like other teams are it's pretty nasty week 1.
I think every team besides the 49ers have had a shaky week at least. I mean, I get it, the Eagles are 4-0, but they've had some shaky wins. So it's not like, I mean, like they're coming out and they're kicking ass like the Niners. The Niners had a slow first half against the Rams, but they turned it around in the second half. So it wasn't like it was a bad win. I mean, they scored 30 points in that win. So I don't know. I think Josh Allen, I mean, I don't think he's the MVP at the moment, but he keeps doing this. I mean, he's going to start putting his name in that hat for MVP. He hasn't got it yet, so he's
not looking good for my my early preseason pick, but the Bills missing the playoffs. It's not looking good for me.
I thought that. I mean, obviously, I had the Jets win the division, so things changed. But I think the Bills are my second place team in the AFC. So I mean, if you'd have told me Aaron Rodgers was not going to play for the Jets, yeah, Buffalo, I'm putting back in number 1. It's just the way. Yeah, different story if there's no Aaron Rodgers at all. So, but boys, did they finally? But the question though is, are the doubters going to stay quiet for now? Are they still going to keep doubting this team?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see too much. I didn't see too much doubt around the team, anyways. I mean, week 1, like Luke said, was very shaky. Everybody's offense was pretty fucking shaky. I mean, Bills have come out and pretty much shut down anything. If there was any doubters, that they're still here to compete.
I mean, people are. It's really the doubts on Allen because of like Luke said, he looked good, but they think he's careless with the ball, leads the league in turnovers since he's been in the league. So people have those criticism essentially towards him.
Yeah, if he can just control throwing up some punts to the defense, I think he's getting better as like the season's going on. Probably get a little more comfortable. Week 1 was just a bad week 1 for him. He's looked a lot better the past 3 weeks throwing the ball, and he's just fucking lighting defenses up with Diggs and Gabe Davis.
In this game right here, like you said, Gabe Davis, that's good. We want to see him get involved. That's what I expected him last year to do, but he was a little inconsistent, more of a deep ball threat. I've seen a lot more, medium throws with him this year. But they did this Sunday without the run game being effective. Like really, their leading rusher was Latavius Murray, another UCF boy with 32 yards and 4 carries. So James Cook didn't have that explosive game he had the last 2 weeks. So they dropped almost 50 points without a run game. And that's the old Buffalo Bills we've used to. But I think this run game is going to be a little better throughout the year. So expect the Buffalo Bills boys to keep their name in that hat, as best team in the league. So, but boys,
yeah, I completely agree.
Speaking of best teams, there's 2 of them left. There's 2 4-0 teams left. You have the Philadelphia Eagles, who we just saw went to overtime against the Commanders. Chris's, bold prediction of a sneaky Commanders team maybe making the playoffs, and the San Francisco 49ers, who Luke predicted would go 17-0. So that opens the door. We know where Luke's going to go, but we want to hear where he thinks the Eagles are going to lose. Which of these 2 4-0 teams lose first? And don't forget, these guys play each other a week after Thanksgiving. So can they maybe make it that far to Thanksgiving? We'll see. But I'll open up to you guys. Who loses first and where at?
Well, it's going to be the Eagles lose first. I mean, I already had 49ers going 17-0. And, hey, they haven't changed my mind at all. They've pretty much dominated every team they've played this year. Big Cock Brock's just fucking lighting up defenses, doing his not doing too much, just game managing. I mean, he's got the most talented offensive weapons in the NFL probably. I mean, CMC had fucking 4 touchdowns and nearly fucking 50 fantasy points. So
should have had 5.
He very could have had 5.
On the fucking yard line.
Brock Purdy stuck that one in, right?
Yeah, well, so they tried getting to use check. It was Purdy that got it, but the first handoff was to the fullback, use check, and then they said, fuck it, we'll give it to Purdy.
Show some love to use check, former Raven.
That's what they said. They said you got to pay respect to all your greats. So
yeah, but I mean, if they don't lose the Rams, they'll probably beat the Jets, but I think they lose. The Eagles are going to lose the Dolphins at the Dolphins. I think they're at home.
Yeah, they're at home Sunday prime time. Sunday Night Football. I agree with you, Luke. I think that's where the Eagles lose. I think that they start 6-0. I think they beat the Rams pretty, not convincingly, but it's not going to be as close as it's been. And I don't know which Jets we're going to see. If we saw what we saw last night with Zach Wilson, then sure, it might be a close game. But I think the Eagles start 6-0, and I would not be shocked if these boys went to the week after Thanksgiving. But I do have the Niners starting 10-0 and then losing week, their 11th game against the Seahawks on Thanksgiving night in Seattle. Going to be a hell of a crowd. The 12th man will be out. I don't know if the Seahawks are truly better, but I think in that environment for that night, the Seahawks will be just a tad bit better. So I have the Niners starting off 10-0. I have the Eagles starting 6-0. I think too much Tua, too much speed on that offense is going to be just enough for the Dolphins to beat them in Philly.
Yeah, I mean, I see the Eagles losing Game 7 against Miami. They've struggled against Washington, went into overtime there. I mean, if Sam Howell could have connected a couple dots, that would have been game over there. And then struggled with Tampa, Minnesota, New England. I mean, I see the Niners are literally a complete team, and I don't see them losing for a while.
That game with Tampa was just a couple plays away from being a very completely different game. A couple missed throws by Baker, a couple drops by Mike Evans, completely different game.
And the Sam Howell game too. Like, we know it. Like, O-line's a big thing, but the Commanders' O-line looks like ass. So like, if they had just a little bit better pass protection, that offense probably scores a couple more times. And I give it to Sam Howell. He looked good, but I mean, Hurts and them did their thing. But hey, boys, if they beat Miami before they play the Niners, they got to go at the Commanders, which they lost to last year. For Jalen Hurts' only start since last year that he's lost in the regular season, and then they have to play the Dallas Cowboys at home, and they have to go at the Chiefs and home for the Bills. That's all before the Niners. So they have a tough little October and November. So the Eagles have a tough stretch, after this next 2 games.
Yeah, they could easily drop 3 or 4 games before they play the Niners.
And does that open the
And
door for the Dallas Cowboys to maybe take the NFC East by their grasp?
no, that opens the door for the New York Giants to come in and take the lead.
You must have not watched tonight, Chris. They had a great game, but
I don't think he's watched any Giants game so far. If he's still thinking the Giants gonna fucking Danny Dimes just fucking robbed New York.
oh yeah, he bankrupted them.
Yeah,
Slow start.
Joe
Slow
Burrow just
start.
fucking robbing teams.
Slow start.
I mean, but no, I think that the Niners, like you said, Chris, more complete. I mean, Brock doing his thing, only had one incompletion against the Arizona Cardinals. Again, it's the Cardinals, but still one incompletion. Not like he threw the ball 10 times. He threw it 20 plus, so that's a pretty good game. Like you said, CMC. No, you go.
I don't think you could say just the Cardinals anymore. I think at this point in the season, we have to put some respect on the Cardinals teams. I mean, I know that they're not out there winning. I know they're not out there winning games, but they're fucking competing. I mean, they put up a struggle. They won against Dallas, put up a struggle with fucking the Niners this weekend. Like, I know we were shitting on the Cardinals this offseason, but I think we got to show them some respect right now.
Cardinals got a big game next week too, hosting Joe Burrow down in Arizona. Watch out. Joe Burrow might take another L. Cardinals are coming out to play.
That guy does not look good neither at the moment. I mean, just a kind of a bad time to be a Bengals fan at the moment. Chris, your second team is not looking too hot right now.
No, I mean, we can. I don't know if you want to dig into it now or later, but when we go over Joe, we'll dig the Bengals.
Maybe that'll be our overreaction to end the show. We'll have some time for overreaction. But boys, I was mentioning Christian McCaffrey, and that I've been talking about it with another chat. Not you guys, different set of boys I talked to about football. And this year, I'm not sold that through 4 games on pretty much a quarter of the season that there's a quarterback that's the MVP of the season. So is Christian McCaffrey the MVP right now? If it was said and done, the season's over. Is Christian McCaffrey, he leads the league in rushing. He has 141 yards receiving. He's up there in the yak department, touchdowns department. The man's fucking balling out there. So, I mean, and if it's going to be quarterback, who would you pick? But, I mean, I don't think a QB right now is set, his name out there for the MVP. I think it's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, no, I think this is the year that a quarterback's not going to get it. I think Christian McCaffrey's in the lead. It's his to lose right now for MVP. Like you said, Mark, there's not a quarterback out there that is showing MVP status. I mean, we could maybe argue Tua, but then the game last week against the Bills, this past weekend against the Bills, like pretty much shot that one in his foot. I mean, we can maybe argue if Josh Allen stays consistent on what he's doing now, he could be in the running. But like your big names like Hurts, Mahomes, those big name quarterbacks, they're out of the running. They're not looking good.
I have a sleeper name for quarterback. If it was up to me, and I'm saying the best QB this year, I get it. Tua, he leads the league in yards by less than 100. He's only got 9 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. I get it. This guy might not have as many touchdowns. He's got 6 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, no turnovers. C.J. Stroud. I don't care if he's a rookie. The guy's balling. He looks like the only
rookie of the year.
Yeah, he's on pace for rookie of the year for offense. He's probably the only successful Ohio State QB that I've seen play. I know Fields is still out there playing, but C.J. Stroud actually looks successful. He's 2-2. No one expected the Houston Texans to be 2-2 through the first 4 games. A lot of people didn't even have the Houston Texans winning 2 games this season.
Yeah, I don't think I did.
I think I had him 1 or 2. Yeah.
Him and his boy Collins are becoming a deadly fucking threat on the field.
Tank Dell as well. Tank Dell didn't have a good game last week, but he's been pretty good this year as well. A rookie receiver.
Cook's not looking too bad. Oh, Woods, yeah. Woods isn't looking too bad for an older receiver.
And the defense is playing at a high. I mean, I know this is not C.J. Stroud, but the defense in general, which we're going to talk about the AFC South in a little bit, but we'll save that part. But yeah, C.J. Stroud, ball, and I think he's having a good year. His complete percentage is not that up there, but he's throwing for over 1,200 yards. And like I said, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, the kid's balling out there. I mean, and he's just getting better and better. So maybe he makes an imprint in there. I don't think I've ever seen a rookie win MVP. But I think Chris McCaffrey, it's his award at the moment. Unfortunately, I think that's just where it's at. I think he's doing better than any receiver. And, I mean, JJ's still up there, but I don't think he's having that, breakout year like he had last year.
And it's not even with Christian McCaffrey. It's not even like he's on a team where it's just him. I mean, you have Deebo Samuel out there. You have Brandon Ayuk out there. You have George Kittle. I mean, I know Kittle's not doing what he was supposed to do. Shout out to when we did sleepers and bust, and I said that he was a bust. He's looking like a bust, boys.
Yeah, I mean, he started off slow
For
last
fantasy
year, too.
points wise, yeah. Hey, he's serving that big blocking role this year for 49ers.
And he loves blocking.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, but he's doing it with all these weapons around him.
Yeah.
Is that he said too, Luke CMC? I mean,
I think he's the clear front runner right now. I mean, some of these defensive guys can get some looks too. TJ Watt. I mean, I know Steelers aren't playing that well. Then if Micah Parsons. I mean, those two guys can be in the conversation, but will they really get to defense? Yeah, Myles Garrett. I think Myles Garrett might miss next week. I don't know. I'm not sure how hurt he is.
Yeah, he's hurt. I don't know what it actually was, but I know didn't he leave the game early?
Yeah, I can't remember if he came back in the game.
It was a blowout.
I know he went out for a little bit.
Could have just left because it was getting pretty ugly. No reason to keep getting hurt out there if you're already nicked up. But Khalil Mack, he he had no sacks coming until yesterday's game.
Yeah, like what?
He's
6?
now tied. He's tied for the lead at 6 sacks. So
Khalil Mack was able to eat though because of Joey Bosa being out.
I mean, it just shows that Khalil Mack maybe still has it if he's healthy.
And he's going against his old team too, so it's probably a revenge game.
Well, I don't think
he has a rookie quarterback.
He has no hate towards the Raiders. Yeah, I think all the hate was towards John Gruden. I mean,
you still think he wants to play good against his old team?
Oh yeah, he does, but I don't think that hatred he had when Gruden's there it's all gone now. But boys, moving on to a former team of Khalil Mack's, the Chicago Bears. They currently own the first 2 picks of the NFL draft. And I know Chris said if you don't get this win, if you tell him Doc if they don't get a win this game, they might not win at all this year. Is this how it's going to be? Are the Carolina Panthers and the Bears going to suck so bad that they do get the first 2 picks of the draft?
I mean, I could see Carolina maybe busting out a win or 2 from the NFC South. I mean, you know how the division games are, Mark. I mean, they're ugly. Any team can fucking win. So I can see maybe Carolina sneaking out a couple wins in the South. The Bears, though, God, they were, what was it, like 27-3 or something? Like something ridiculous where they should have just walked away with the win.
And look at the Panthers schedule.
I think they were up 31.
They were up 28-7. The Bears were
28-7.
But the Bears do play the Panthers this year on Thursday Night Football in November.
Somebody will have to win that game.
Somebody will have to win that game.
Or they tie.
That might be each other's first win, or they might both be winless going into that game.
Yeah,
so, I mean, because the Panthers have a pretty good schedule leading up to that. They have the Lions, the Dolphins, the Texans, the Colts, and then they play the Bears. So those aren't the Bears got fucking games.
Commanders, Vikings, Raiders, Chargers, Saints, then the Panthers.
Where's the Vikings game at? Was it home or away?
It's at home.
It's home.
So I can see them maybe sneaking out a game at home. It's just I don't know. But I don't know. They suck so bad.
That's what I thought this week. That's the reason I switched my pick is for fucking them to win at home.
Luke, if you stuck with your picks that you did on the show on the app, you would have won this week. Not the guy that won. So, but no, I think it's a good shot that they get the first 2 picks. I really do. I think that these teams combined might have 2 or 3 wins combined.
I mean, I think the biggest thing we can pull from the game is that like Justin Fields is not the issue. It's the coaches around him. I mean, Justin Fields balled out. I get it. He wasn't going against an NFL defense, but still, like 28 for 35, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns and an interception. Like he balled out for the Bears. He finally got DJ Moore involved. Khalil Herbert. I mean, he got over 100 rushing yards. Like Cole Kmet balled out. I mean, sleeper in fantasy. God damn, he came out of nowhere.
Hey, Doc had him in our dynasty matchup, and I still got the W.
But it's like we need to see more going up against an actual defense and not against the Denver Broncos, because I know they got to win, but God, that game should have just
next week.
That should have just got tied.
The Broncos have been a good defense. I don't know what's happened with them since that Commanders second half. They've been just so shit. Now, they did lock it down the fourth quarter, but they've been pretty shit. What were we saying, Luke, about defense next? Oh, yeah, the Commanders. At DC, too.
So Commanders are playing good ball, too. So
their defense didn't look great last week.
Just not against the Bills.
or the Eagles. The Eagles put up points, but the Bears aren't the Eagles or the Buffalo Bills, so we don't think we have to worry about that. But yeah, I think it's a good shot though. These guys get the first 2 picks. We'll see. Caleb Williams, Robert Harrison. I know there's some of those conspiracy theories. I think Chris has mentioned it. You fire your coach, get Lincoln Riley, and get Caleb Williams. Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams have been together. Well, Caleb Williams has been with Lincoln Riley ever since he's been in college. So
the Bears are gonna have to throw the fucking house at fucking Lincoln Riley to move. Well, he got like $100 million to go to USC. He got a house. He got a private jet. So they're gonna have to throw the fucking house to get him to leave.
And that house is fucking gorgeous too.
Yeah, and they bought his old house in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, and the biggest thing is is Caleb Williams going to enter the draft if the Bears have the number 1?
I mean, if Lincoln Riley says, "Hey, I'm going to go coach the Bears," that is a possibility. Just because he'll be with his college coach, he transferred to USC because of Lincoln Riley. It's not like he just went to USC because Oklahoma was going to be shit. I mean, yeah, they had a bad year last year, but he followed Lincoln Riley. Essentially, is what he did.
Yeah, I don't think they can pull Lincoln Riley out of fucking USC though. I don't see that happening.
But
he's got a good thing going where he's at. Why leave to a shit organization and just fucking fail in the NFL again and just come back?
Well, I mean, he's never had a chance in the NFL, I don't think. Not yet.
Yeah,
I mean, he said looks.
The Cardinals.
Oh, Cliff Kingsbury. But, I mean, there's been college coaches that have come in there. I mean, we see Pete Carroll. He's in there. But he didn't work right away, neither. He had to go a second time. But there are 10 teams, guys, right now at the moment with 1 win or less. So there is some competition for some of these teams to suck with them. So they're relying on Carolina being shit, and then obviously them being shit. It's hard. I thought that we thought the Bears were going to try and compete this year. So, I mean, I guess we'll have to keep an eye on the next few games. But they do play each other in the beginning of November. So I think it's the first Thursday night of November that these 2 teams will play each other. So we'll see someone get a win eventually. Or a tie.
Hopefully that game is flexed for fucking like 3 a.m, you know?
We did get our first flex game too, by the way. Bucks and
the Ram. No,
No, the Bucks.
Should be next week's game, right?
I'm pretty sure it's the Bucks and the Rams.
Bucks Lions.
Bucks Lions.
The late 4:00 game on Fox. So looks like they're going to try and make that America's game of the week, and rightfully so. 2 good teams at the moment, but AFC South, boys. All 4 teams are 2-2 at the moment. You know, I didn't think this was what was possible. Like we said, we didn't think Houston was going to be this good. I know you guys weren't high on the Titans. I mean, coming out there, I thought Mike Vrabes was a good coach. But all teams 2-2. Colts tried making that comeback, went to overtime. Who do we expect to take this division by the grip, maybe pull away a little bit from the pack?
Yeah, honestly, this is one of those divisions that's a toss-up. I mean, you have Tennessee that's hit or miss. Like, what offense are you going to get? Are you going to get an offense that's going to feed Derrick Henry and he's going to ball? Because clearly that's the success for their offense. You have Jacksonville that still doesn't look like they found their offense yet. They did ball out a little bit against the Falcons. And then you have Houston they're Houston. They're C.J. Stroud's out there dropping dimes. And then the Colts, they're finding their way to get into games.
And Houston's about to go through that NFC South gauntlet. Their next 4 games are against the whole division. So they're about to get rid of the NFC South right off their list just to get that done with. I don't know, man. Like you said, the Jaguars, I'm not sold on them, Chris. Their offense looks like shit. And their defense, it looked good. But that was against Desmond Ridder. Like, let's just be honest. He's not the guy. So I don't know, man. The Jaguars haven't looked like what we thought they were going to be. The Colts have looked a lot better, and same thing with the Titans or the Texans. The teams with the 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft have looked pretty impressive.
Oh, the fucking Colts and Titans are going to play each other next week, so we'll get to see how it looks. Plus, possible Jonathan Taylor return too. So possibly good return for my fantasy. Maybe I get another running back in the lineup. So
Colts play 2 division games in. Colts play 2 division games in a row. They play at Jacksonville too the following week.
Yeah. So the Titans will be the Colts will be home against the Titans and home against the Jags. So line them up, say that, kind of figure out who's the top team in the division in the next couple weeks.
I think Jacksonville's going to get blown by the Bills this weekend. So
The problem though, it's a London game.
It's a London, yeah, London game.
And they're already there.
It's a London game,
and
still,
the Jags are staying already in London, staying in London.
And the Jags seem to play the Bills tough. It's just for some reason the Jags play Buffalo tough every single time they play each other. But
yeah,
you can say it. But
Jacksonville just doesn't look like what everyone thinks Jacksonville is going to look like.
No. You can never tell with teams traveling over to London. Like you'll get like a completely different team traveling over London sometimes.
They look like the worst team in the state of Florida right now for the professional teams. They look worse than the Dolphins, and I think they look worse than the Bucs. Honestly,
they might not even be a Florida team anymore. I mean, Jacksonville doesn't look like their people are going to support
the stadium.
No, I mean, what I've heard is that Jacksonville doesn't look like they want to support the taxes for the new stadium.
I mean, no city really wants to. Like, people hate that shit when their taxes go towards the stadium when these billionaires can pay for a stadium themselves. But I think I'm going to go Houston, boys. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I like what DeMeco Ryans is coaching out there. The defense looks really inspired. C.J. Stroud is looking good. I'm like Luke said, possible rookie of the year at the moment. I think they haven't even got Damian Pierce going yet, but you know the trio with Robert Woods, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins looking good. Dalton Schultz got involved last week too. I like what Houston's coach. I like what they're doing out there. I like what's in the water out there in Houston at the moment. They got rid of probably all those masseuses out there. C.J. Stroud ain't doing that shit like Deshaun Watson style, and he's fucking balling out there. He's focused, and he's a hell of a quarterback right now.
Yeah, I mean he's not putting the team in a position to lose the games either. Like he's not throwing interceptions like left and right. He's not taking huge risk either with the ball. So he's taking what he sees open and just walking his way down the field.
Yeah, and that's the way to win games. And I think they have a good coach. I think DeMeco Ryans is coaching out there. Like I said, these players look like they love the coach, that they're playing for him. They're playing under him. They're not just listening to him because he's the coach. I think they respect him. And I think a lot. I mean, he's a former Texan too, so I mean, he knows how it's out there in Houston. He knows the environment. So, props to DeMeco Ryans. I don't think Tennessee though is going to compete. I think they'll be a 7 or 8 win team, but I think that's about it.
Those red helmets for the Texans look sweet too.
Yeah, they're wearing that battle red.
Yeah, that sure looks good.
Yeah, I don't see Tennessee competing. I mean, Tannehill's just Tannehill. They're just, that offense is just too inconsistent. If Jags can get it together, I mean, Jags, this could be their division.
Yeah, I mean, they have the talent. They should be leading right now, but that's why the games are played, not fucking played on paper, right? So, but let's jump to the other South division, the NFC South. The Bucs, are they running away with this division? Three of us start 2-0, and now the Saints and Falcons, we both have jumped to 2-2. And then the Bucs did lose Monday night against Philly, but like Luke said, it was right there. It's kind of still close, but they lost. But bounced back, big win in the Dome. Baker's 2-0 against the Saints, by the way. So, is this the Bucs division?
I mean, as of right now, I think so. Like the Saints offense, like it is not doing their defense any favors here. Like I get it, like Carr's probably playing pretty hurt. I mean, he probably should have been sitting down, let Jameis play the whole game, but Jameis went out there, threw one pass and threw a punt. So I don't know what the Saints need to do on offense to figure the quarterback situation out. Sit Carr for a week or two, get him healthy, but then the Falcons have no passing game with the Falcons, and the Panthers are the Panthers. Bryce Young's still trying to figure the NFL out. He's been banged up a little bit too. But, I mean, Tampa's they had a tough game against the Lions. The Lions are pretty fired up right now. So at Tampa against the Lions would be a tough game.
And the Bucs have an early bye week too. They're already on a bye week. So like this week coming up, they're on a bye. Like you said, Luke, they open up at home against Detroit. I get it. The Falcons don't look like they're better than the Bucs, but still it's a division game. They play home against the Falcons, and then they're on the road against Buffalo and Houston. So their first 4 games coming out of the bye week, it's a pretty good fiery test out there, I think, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tight. New Orleans needs to figure out their fucking offense. I mean, Pete Carmichael is fucking outdated. I mean, he's playing the same offense that he did fucking 10 years ago with Sean Payton. I mean, it's 3rd and 2, and you try to throw a deep shot, and then it's 3rd and 15, and you throw an undershot. Like, not getting Chris Olave the ball, targeted him one time. I think Derek Carr might have been playing injured. I'm not too sure, but like the play calling is just fucking atrocious. And all that's doing is hurting the Saints defense. I mean, we gave up 2 touchdowns the first 3 weeks, and then we give up, what was it, 3 or 4 this past weekend to Tampa. I mean, going out there and getting 3 and out and then getting the defense back on is hurting us. So, I mean, right now, I mean, just Tampa, I think Tampa owns the division, but it's going to be it's going to be close between Tampa and New Orleans. I think Atlanta, like I said before, is that like if they fall behind the lead, they're not coming back. I mean, Desmond Ridder just doesn't look like he has it in him. And then Carolina they got a lot of shit to figure out there.
Yeah, I'll eliminate Carolina from this picture. I think it's a 3-team race for the NFC South, like Luke and you have mentioned. Right now, it seems like Tampa Bay is going to potentially run away with it, but it's still early. If New Orleans can figure this offense out, Chris, I think you guys still can win this division. Your defense, I think, is the best defense when it's said and done in the division. I really do. I mean, all 3 defenses, honestly, between Atlanta, New Orleans, and Tampa, are playing good defense. It's not like Atlanta's not losing like we used to, fucking because we can't score. Other team outscore them by fucking 35-31. So we're fucking putting defense or offenses on their ass, essentially. We only gave up 16 against the Jaguars. So it's not like our defense is a problem. We just can't do anything. And I think it's time to bench Ridder. We're going to talk about this in a minute, but I think it's time to give either Heineke a chance or trade for another name out there we're gonna talk about in a little bit. But I think Tampa right now, Baker's playing good football. I mean, this is the football. He's playing for his future, honestly. He's on a 1-year prove deal with the Buccaneers. And maybe do they take a chance on him, extend him in the offseason? I mean, why not? He's fucking in Tampa Bay. It's a nice place to live, beautiful weather, great scenery. And, I mean, we don't know what's happening with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans next year, but build the team around Baker and maybe get him some weapons. But I think right now, yeah, the Bucs, they do have a big test, like I said. They have a pretty decent schedule coming out this bye week. And they have an early bye week, so their body is going to be sore as hell towards the end of the season, too. That's big.
Yeah. I mean, you hit it on the nail, Mark. I think Tampa has it right now.
I've been saying it all off season. Baker Daddy Mayfield, 9+ wins. Now y'all are finally converting over. Like Baker's real deal. Like he can still play ball. Yeah, he's had a rough couple of years when he left the Browns. When the Browns let him go, but I think he's found himself a new little home. He's got his swagger back.
But like I said, it's gonna
I mean, even like just taking the bias out, like nobody would have thought that New Orleans offense would look this shitty right now. I mean, with the playmakers Carr has, with Thomas, Olave, Rashid Hakeed, fucking Kamara, like we haven't even put 20 points up yet. Like, and
yeah,
I'm
I
not
expect a little more out of Carr.
It's not Carr. I'm not blaming Carr. Carr's doing what he can do. It's the play calling. The play calling is atrocious. And also, I'll give Carr not credit, but like Carr's just holding on to the pocket or the ball too long. I mean, our offensive line's shit, but like the plays he does have time, he's just holding on to that ball way too long.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but man, I don't want Tampa to win the division just because I don't want Luke to be right on this one. I really don't. I mean, but I will say Atlanta and New Orleans still have a shot. It's not like we're out of it completely, but
no, we're 1 game behind. It's fucking week 4. I mean, the division still as a whole. No, I mean it's too early to tell.
Yeah, it's too early to tell. But boys, we had some injuries this weekend. Couple guys. I mean, look, so Tre'Davious White for the Buffalo Bills, second time in 3 years, he's had a big injury. He fucking tore his Achilles, non-contact injury against the Miami Dolphins. That's a big loss. I think that, like I said, the Bills' defense is deep. They can still come out hot. Higgins had some rib problems. He should be said fine. Pickett will be fine too. It looks like a bruised knee. Freemuth got hurt. Matthew Judon, Christian Gonzalez, boys, going to miss some time.
Both out indefinitely.
Yes. And that Christian Gonzalez having a fantastic year. Matthew Judon's a beast. So some big injuries coming out of this week 4 of the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, the worst I feel about is Christian Gonzalez. I mean, he looked like he had defensive rookie of the year in the bag. Like he was playing lights out on the defensive side. big loss for the Patriots. Hate to see it.
Witherspoon might have, by the way, passed that defensive rookie of the year just through this one game.
He played a pretty good game today.
He played a good game today, yeah.
I do feel bad, though, for your LSU boy, Tre'Davious White, Chris. I mean, like I said, second time in 3 years. He's a beast when he's out there.
Could be career ender, like the two injuries in 3 years. It's tough. Like he's gonna have a hard time getting that next contract.
Yeah, and then he's still kind of young though too. So
yeah, and then a big one I feel bad for is like I know you didn't mention it, Mark, but like Jamal Adams getting that concussion right away, like being out over a year not playing, come in your first game, he was hyped. He almost he almost got a sack right away, got a big hit, and then the next drive, Danny Dimes nails him in the head with his knee. And the trend looking this year is if you get a concussion in the game, you're out the next game. That's been looking like the trend so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
One game out. That's what everybody like. Waddle sat out a game. AR sat out a game.
Jimmy G. I mean, they said that he could have played. He was out. I know one of Cesar Ruiz, one of the Saints O-line, concussion early in the game. And sat out this past weekend. I mean, the trend looking this year is that if you have a concussion, no matter how early in the game, you're probably going to be sitting out the next game.
I mean, it probably comes from the Tua thing last year.
Yeah,
throwing him back in a little too soon.
And then I don't know if y'all saw it, but that Jamal Adams clip of him yelling at that NFL.
Yeah, he was very upset.
Not even on the team. It was like the medical guy. I forgot what they call them. What the special
red
name
hats.
is.
The red hat.
The red hat guys. He was fucking yelling at him.
And another thing too, like I'm not saying that this is going to stem because of the people are sitting out, but I mean I know we've all been seeing what's going on with Chandler Jones, and we think it could be CTE. So I mean, do the guys want to get back early? And we're not saying that it's CTE that is what Chandler Jones has, but something's clearly going on, and it looks like he's having like a mental, he's having like problems. So like that could be, I mean, Antonio Brown said that I can help him. Like he could help him. So if AB's reaching out for help, that's fucking an issue. Like that's a red flag.
That's a guy who want to help me.
Yeah, AB's going to fucking teach him how to whip his dick out in a fucking pool and fucking, where was he? Fucking.
He was in the Middle
Dubai,
East where.
I was in Dubai.
Where they arrest you on site, essentially. They don't fuck around out in the Middle East with that kind of shit. So. But I mean, I'm not saying that's why people are taking it easy because of Chandler Jones. But seeing it now, it's like, hey, do these guys want to continue to play early with these concussions? Like you said, Tua, he had issues last year. We are 100% sure that it was a fucking concussion on a back injury. So, but yeah, I mean, why not miss 1 week if you're not fully healthy?
Yeah,
but
I think the NFL is just trying to cover their ass right now.
I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, you don't want to get sued down the road for not taking care of your players.
They better watch out to get sued for fucking terrible refs.
Oh man, yeah. There's some of these. Let's talk about that real quick. So yeah, the refs, the Jets game. I know that's the high one. I get it. Yeah, they did the old NBA move where they wait to see if it was gonna, like for the NBA, for example, they'll blow that whistle if it doesn't go in, so they get that foul, those 2 foul shots. So the ref did on that interception. They waited to see if it was gonna be an interception or not. And they threw the flag. I get it. I still think it was a correct call. I thought it was still holding, but I get it. They were playing physical all night. They didn't call it. That's the problem, is they weren't consistent with it.
They also missed the holding 2 plays before that too on Jermaine Johnson.
That was such a bad holding. I mean, I get it that like it would have just like reset because the defense did get a holding call on that play also, though.
But that changes the game, though, too. It had been 3rd and 22 or whatever again. So
yeah, and they would have got another shot
again.
But I don't care if that safety that turned the game around, and that was not a safety. He tugged that before the goal line. It shouldn't have been 2 points. The Jets wouldn't have had that momentum that they had. I don't care what they thought they saw. His head turned before he was across that goal line. So, I mean, it goes both ways. It did go both ways last night. Just it sucked that the bigger ones were towards the end of the game against the New York Jets.
Yeah, no, the refs were just.
Yeah, I hate to say it. They got to figure out some way that they, like the whole reviewing it in New York real quick. Like, hey, good call, or hey, it's a bad call. They got to figure out something they can do that they can on the spot fix some of these. I think what the XFL did some of that last year.
They've done this before too. I think the last
they
couple
reviewed
years,
it. They reviewed them live. I don't know why they can't do that with some of these penalties. They're like game-changing penalties.
There's just so many fucking cameras on the field that, like, I get it. You're like, what? There's like 5 umps, like trying to watch 22 guys on the field. Like, throw the flag. Y'all talk about it. Let New York talk about it, and then confirm or deny.
Yeah, I mean, I like the implementing like that rule. Like, do a quick, like, because the guy in the fucking booth can see it in like fucking 5 seconds.
Yeah, just like a quick look, like 10 seconds max. Like, not over here to fucking getting nitty gritty. Like, hey, if it's clear and obvious.
Yeah, clear and obvious call.
I'm not talking like a challenge where you're like looking at fucking every like fucking inch, like frame by frame. Like, clear and obvious stuff is what they need to clean up.
But we all know the refs have been bad, so it's hard to just.
Yeah. It's been like that for the last few years. Fucking Sean Payton had like a huge thing about it where they implemented the challenge of the fucking pass interference for like a season, and that obviously didn't work because they got rid of it the next season.
Yeah, that was just. I mean, I get that one was a bad like. I mean, obviously that was clear and day. Like that call that you mentioned with Mahomes' big run. Nobody noticed that until TikTok.
Oh, I noticed it during the game. I
didn't notice it during the game.
Jermaine Johnson's like waving his arms up and down. Like, come on.
But I mean, I'd say a lot of the people like it went past the naked eye. Not many people noticed it until TikTok got onto it. Because I mean, because you didn't even say it in the chat when it happened. Like you saw, like I
thought about it. I almost did, but I was.
I mean, the thing is like you have a ref literally standing 10 yards behind that pretty much has his hand on the flag to throw the smallest fucking hold call. Because, I mean, I feel like holding, especially tonight's game, there's a holding call on pretty much every fucking drive.
Well,
like, these refs are looking for a hold.
There's articles that have come out, too. I was talking about it with another guy. There's holding on. I mean, we could say there's holding on every play, offense and defense. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
There's flags on every play. They say refs kind of choose when it happens. It needs to be kind of obvious if it's little holds. Like, they're not going to throw the flag that much, but if it's obvious when they have to call it. So it's like you don't want to throw a flag at every single play, too. That will just slow the game down, and no one's going to watch, essentially.
Well, the thing is, like, easy fix. The NFL is what, like $1 billion company? Make the refs full-time employees. Like, stop this whole, like, yeah, stop hiring these guys that are fucking lawyers and doctors where they have a main job. Like, make these referees full-time employees.
Hold them accountable for these calls, too.
Hire me. Fuck it. Don't me. Hire me.
Send me to a ref academy.
Yeah.
I'll throw some flags.
I'll be decent money. Fucking hang out with the athletes before and during the games and all that. Fucking watch football.
Yeah.
It's a good gig.
Don't let me ref a fucking Falcons game, though.
Until I'm into the game and I'm like sitting there amazed by these athletes. I forgot to do anything. And they're looking at me like, hey, what'd you see? I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. I'm watching the game. My bad.
Well, sorry. I got this guy on my fantasy team, so touchdown. Let's go.
Make sure your mic's not on when you fucking say that shit because you don't want to get caught doing that. But yeah, I think the refs in all sports, they're an issue. It's just the way it goes. Boys, I kind of teased it earlier. I think there's 4 quarterbacks out there right now. You have Desmond Ridder, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, and Kirk Cousins. Is it time to trade or bench any of these quarterbacks at the moment?
I
think Kirk Cousins.
It's so early.
I think trade Kirk Cousins.
Trade. Yeah.
Minnesota, he's going to walk. You're not going to get anything for him. You're not going to win anything this year. Now, I'm not saying this because I'm a Falcons fan, but a team like Atlanta would love a Kirk Cousins. We have a young core. We have a good defense. You have a run game. The pressure's not going to be solely on Kirk Cousins to get Drake London and Kyle Pitts and these guys the ball. It would benefit Kirk Cousins to be there, and maybe he'd be a starter for 3 or 4 more years. He's only 34 at the moment. He could play into his little later 30s for a team like the Falcons or teams that need a quarterback. I think Kirk Cousins should be traded. You get draft capital out of him too. You probably get a 2nd or 3rd round pick for Kirk Cousins.
I don't think the Vikings are going to trade him. I mean, it's not like he's shitting the bed offensively. I mean, he's balling out on the offense. It's the defense that's pretty much fucking terrible right now. And Madison fumbling 4 times a game doesn't help them either. I know Kirk Cousins is throwing some interceptions and stuff too, but I don't see the Vikings trying to move him. I see the Vikings trying to maybe re-up him. Desmond Ridder definitely get out of.
Yeah,
but the Vikings, like their start of the schedule wasn't easy. Like they played like probably some of the better offenses this year too, besides the Panthers. But they still have a pretty tough stretch. Like they got the Chiefs next week, then they got an easy game against the Bears. So I think the Vikings don't trade him just because they probably still think they have a shot at the playoffs. Like they could
but they
could easily go on a run.
I don't think easily go on a run.
They
could go on a run, but I don't think they should. I don't think they're going to trade him, but they should. Like that, I just don't think they're going to do anything there. You're just going to waste them. You're going to waste
Kirk Cousins.
No, I think Kirk Cousins. I said Kirk Cousins should have gone to the Jets a couple weeks ago. I think Kirk should be out the door. Like you're not going to win with him right now. You're not in a win now mode, and I'm sorry. Like he's just going to. I think he's going to walk next year. I really do. I think he's out.
But in their eyes, they're in a win now mode.
Yeah, they still think they guys like they can go on a run. I think like they have one of the top offenses in the NFL. It's just the defense got to figure it out. Besides their turnovers,
offense didn't look great last week. By the way,
Justin had me 2 touchdowns, so it's good enough.
Oh yeah, he had his 2 TDs, but Kirk Cousins didn't have a phenomenal game. The run game was. I mean, I know Madison almost had 100 yards, but Hawkinson only had a couple catches. I mean, Addison had 0. I don't even had a target, to be honest.
Oh, JJ had 6, and 2 tutties.
But I don't know. I'm not saying like Kirk Cousins is an issue.
Don't take Kirk Cousins away from me.
I'm not saying Kirk is the issue. I'm just saying like they're not going to win with him. So it's like, hey, let's get something out of him because I think he's walking. That's why I'm saying that. If he doesn't walk next year, then fine, keep him. But you better hope he resigns.
I don't think he will walk. I mean, he's comfortable there. His family's set up there. Like you could see in the Netflix documentary, he has a routine there. I don't see him. Yeah. And he's at the end of his career. Like right now he's coasting.
Yeah, even if they draft a rookie, they're probably going to want him to sit behind Cousins for a season at least.
Well, so he's probably another season this year. They drafted a BYU quarterback, Jaron Hall.
Yeah, he's not going to be the guy though. Come on.
He could be. I mean, Tom Brady. Look at Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, you never know who's going to
be the guy.
Look at Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Brock Purdy.
But yeah, should Mac Jones be benched?
So Mac Jones is a tough one.
I mean,
he was benched last week.
He was benched last year. Forget that. He was benched last year for a game.
Hey, Bailey Zappi played well last season too.
Well, last year he definitely was benched. I mean, I don't know if I believe Belichick that they just pulled him because like the game was over. But Mac Jones is in a very, very interesting spot, like the same spot that Zach Wilson was last year. Like he's not very good, but it's like you already put in high draft capital in him. So do you keep trying to play him or what?
I mean, he's going to have to start again this week. I mean,
he's already starting
again. Yeah, Bill already said he's starting.
Yeah,
they're playing the Saints.
The Saints.
Oh man, God, yeah, that could be an ugly game on offense.
It's gonna be probably a pretty low scoring game.
Take the under.
I mean, if we get our secondary back, we're hurting.
Oh,
they're hurting right now too. They lost Judon and Gonzalez, so it's not like they're not hurting right now. And they have Mac Jones at quarterback, so it's not like they're looking phenomenal right now.
Yeah,
but
probably not be Juju on that beat over there.
I mean, the thing is like, what better option do you have right now, right? Like they know that they're not going.
Zip it,
like,
Zappy.
What other option?
Yeah, exactly.
Give the kid a chance.
Touchdown leader of the NCAA.
And they tried that last year, and he came out and threw like 3 interceptions right away.
But he also didn't have an offensive
coordinator. They put Mac
coordinator.
Jones back in.
Yeah, but now he's got Bill O'Brien calling plays. Let's see what he can do with old Bill.
Bill O'Brien's not. Bob's stuck in Alabama with fucking 5 stars everywhere.
I mean, Alabama's OC's sucking this year, so I mean, it's not like they did have a big win, but their offense hasn't been really that great this year neither. I don't know. I think Bob's been a good offensive coordinator. I mean, I guess we're also judging he had Tom Brady for a little while too in New England too, so we forget about
Anybody could. I would have looked great.
Yeah.
I would have got a job after that.
But no, I'm not saying that Kirk, like I said, should be traded. Or he's going to be traded. I'm not saying he's the issue in Minnesota. I'm just saying you better hope he resigns, because if not, you should trade him now to a team that can maybe turn their season around a little bit, like the Jets, like the Falcons. There's a couple teams right there that could turn their season around with a quarterback.
I mean, I can see the Jets definitely because, I mean, they have all the key pieces to compete right now. And if A-Rod thinks
the Vikings got to pay most of his contracts, the Jets don't have the money. That's the only issue.
I don't know how much he owes right now. So
I think he's owed $35 million.
Aaron Rodgers quite a bit too.
A-Rod's getting paid a lot.
So
yeah, he is.
And A-Rod might say he's coming back now, but if Kirk Cousins is balling in December, Aaron Rodgers ain't coming. He ain't fucking taking over that team in December. Not with coming off an Achilles injury.
A-Rod was so mad up there in that suite all by himself.
Sucks. Like that sucks. Like whole training camp all hyped up, new place, getting your groove, and fucking fourth play or whatever.
You should be mad too. You're in the owner's box, and then a couple boxes over is Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, fucking Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Brittany Mahomes all hanging out, and you're over here with an old ass owner. I'd be a little upset too.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset. They're making. I mean, maybe I don't know.
Man, he's making $45 million this year. No.
Just sitting there
watching not too upset. Game. Yeah,
watching.
He's just chilling. But boys, it's time for our weekly overreaction part of the show. Some big things happened this week, so I'll start off. I think C.J. Stroud broke the Ohio State quarterback curse. I think Ohio State finally is going to have a successful quarterback for years to come. I think that the Houston Texans are going to get to the playoffs, potentially win a wild card round game. I think C.J. Stroud is the right deal. I said it. He should have been the first QB in the draft over Bryce Young. He looks better than Bryce, looks a little better than AR. AR looks better than Bryce Young, but I think C.J. Stroud is the real deal. D'Amico Ryans and the boys are going to build around this guy, and it's going to be a good career for C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, I mean, I'll follow it up. I think Cincinnati should fucking bench Joe right now. He's clearly not healthy.
Stole mine from me.
Oh, well, I already texted you all this.
You're going to use it.
But I think fucking Cincinnati should bench Joe Burrow. He's clearly not healthy. His leg is still hurting. He doesn't look comfortable in the pocket. He can't move around. And then when you know your O-line sucks and you're going to get hit, then like you're going to just play terrible. I think Zach Taylor's trying to save himself, his career. I mean, he's a mediocre coach.
Yeah, the Bengals went all in this season too. So,
well, the issue
they're going to lose. They have to lose some players next season, which is going to really hurt them.
Well, the issue with what the Bengals are facing right now is that they let defensive players go because they knew they had such a high power offense that can put up points. But now you have a fucking guy.
Dax Hills looked pretty good for that safety, placing one of the safeties out there.
Yeah, I mean, they look good.
The only real good thing they have is their pass rush. The only thing Cincinnati defense really has. Hubbard and fucking what the other dude?
Hendrickson.
Yeah, they look pretty good. But other than that, their defense is fucking Swiss cheese out there.
Their issue is Jamar Chase is always open. I mean,
he's
always open.
Always fucking open. Yeah, I mean, 100% Jake Browning should be better than a 20% Joe Burrow right now. Zach Taylor just needs to fucking man up, bench Burrow, save the man. Save the man, because I mean, Joe clearly wants to play, but he's injured.
I've never liked Zach Taylor neither.
Yeah,
he saved his job because they went to the Super Bowl. Telling right now, if they would have just a decent or an average year, he was fired.
Probably.
Yeah, well, they also invested way too much in like the skill position, which it worked for a little bit, but now you see it's starting to bite them, where they have to like get rid of their defense so they can get offensive players. Pay Orlando Brown, which I fucking overpaid for a washed up fucking left tackle who's just getting fucking eaten alive. He's just a big ass fucking dude that defensive ends are just running right around him. There's a reason the Ravens got rid of him and the Chiefs got rid of him. So there's a reason that he's on his third team in fucking like 5 years or 6 years, whatever he's at. He's fucking greedy and he's not willing to compromise on money. He's just fucking shitty. And look, now Bengals are suffering. And Joe Burrow's dying. He was getting lit up last week. And Orlando Brown's on the field.
Joe took some big shots last week.
Yeah, he was getting flung around. So, I mean, I said it earlier. I think they should have benched Joe Burrow week 1 and maybe week 2. Just eating a couple L's. I mean, they took the L's anyways. So they might as well just ate them and fucking put Joe Burrow back in week 3 and when he's 100% healthy, and the team probably looked a little different.
Zach Taylor's just a pussy.
Yeah, well, he's probably going to lose his job if they don't fucking do anything.
That's our
He's
first.
probably losing his job anyways.
Yeah, he's got the best wide receiver core in the NFL with the highest paid quarterback and fucking can't do anything on offense.
And it doesn't get that easy. I mean, like I said, you guys think Arizona's on a
pushover.
pushover.
Top 10 running back. I don't know what his ranking is this year, but Mixon's not a washed-up running back, even though he's kind of a piece of shit.
You guys don't think Arizona's that big of a pushover, so they got Arizona, Seattle, Niners, Bills, Texans. They have a pretty decent stretch coming up, so they better wake up.
I got Arizona winning that game too.
Oh, early spoiler for tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, I won't be on tomorrow, but that's my upset of the week is Arizona's winning.
Damn, so it might just be me and you tomorrow, Chris. Doc is questionable, so.
Hey, let's do it.
The birthday's tomorrow, so.
Oh, yeah, it is your birthday, huh?
Yeah, my birthday's tomorrow, so I'm not going to be on.
Well, happy early birthday. Happy 29th birthday out there, man.
I know, I got to celebrate last year of the 20s, so.
Well, text me your picks, text me your scores, and we'll read it out. Yeah. You are leading, by the way, in our picks, straight up, and I believe against the spread, too.
Fucking wizard over here.
Yeah, you're doing good this year, man.
Got the fucking script over there.
You guys want to pick your heart too much.
Yeah, did the NFL send you that script out? We didn't get that copy.
Yeah, I got to throw a couple L's in there so you guys aren't getting too obvious that I'm cut the script back here. But so I'll throw a couple more L's at this week, but hopefully I win one of these pickups this coming up soon. Getting real frustrated being fucking second, third place.
Hey, by the way,
pick'ems.
You went 15-1 this week in picks. Your only loss was the Colts.
You should throw some money down.
I know.
And you went 13-3 against the spread.
Fucking balling.
So imagine if you would have did that. If you would have kept
all these fucking dudes talking shit online about my fucking my takes, and now look at me. Fucking rolling.
If you would have kept the picks, you would have won this week in pick'ems.
I can't not bet on the fucking Bears anymore. God.
Don't pick with your heart. Don't pick with your heart, Luke. Like you teach us.
I wasn't picking with my heart. I was picking against fucking Sean Payton, which was going good for the first half.
And then Russ woke up, and Fields realized who he was. But
Russ believes.
Yeah, he's.
You gotta believe.
Again. Let's ride, dude.
No, gotta believe. Just believe.
You gotta believe.
He's probably gonna take another L next week. So.
And you know what?
The Jets. Nathaniel Hackett versus Sean Payton. Let's do it. Let's run that shit.
And he takes these L's and he goes home to Sierra. So you know what? Who's really losing in life?
If Sean Payton loses to Zach Wilson, Sean Payton should just retire because all that shit talk.
Sean Payton should have never even came back.
He should not. That's what's happening. You talk shit about another coach. Worst coaching job ever that he's ever seen. And now he's doing even worse than Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh yeah,
that's tough.
But boys, excellent episode. Excellent episode as always. We miss Doc, but Luke, we'll miss you tomorrow. Hopefully Doc gets back in here with us. Chris, glad to have you on here. We're gonna talk some picks tomorrow. So maybe, we'll have Luke's picks on hand. I'll let you guys know what he says, so we can maybe just keep riding with Luke for the week.
I might throw some notes at you guys too.
Just send me the picks.
Yeah, I'll let you guys. I'll give you guys a little heads up what's gonna happen next week.
Thank you. Hey, that's Chris Gemeinhart. That's Luke Rule. Shout out to you, Doc. I'm Mark Davis. This is All About the Balls podcast, and we are out. Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram @the Sack House.